Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Welcome to Run It Back. What's up, fellas? I'm Lou Will, Boogie Cousins. Chandler Beadle couldn't be with us today. She's a little bit under the weather. Prayers and thoughts to Beadle.
Feel better, Beads.
Get over that, Beads. You'll be all right. But we gonna hold it down today. How we feeling, fellas?
Good. Apparently I'm sweating, but I'm cold, so that's never good.
You might be next.
I don't know what's going on over here. Slide this way.
Oh, you're on blue. You heard Steve. Stay on blue.
I'm glad I'm over here today. Well, let's get into it, fellas. The NBA draft is a week away from today. It was reported yesterday that top pick, Darryn Peterson, he only took a meeting with the Washington Wizards, who holds the #1 pick. He opted out of meeting with anybody else. Now, the last time we saw that was our guy Ace Bailey down in Utah. He ended up sliding that draft to the #5 pick. Chandler, tell me, good move, bad move? What you thinking on this?
It's not a good move. It's not a good move at all. I just feel like before your NBA career starts, especially when you have this much potential, when you have a chance to be possibly the #1 pick, you don't want any negative headlines swirling around your name. And I feel like going back to the college season last year, he had a couple of issues with his time in Kansas, his time with Bill Self, and now this. And it's like he's this for sure #1 pick thing. So this is interesting to me because I think AJ is the consensus #1, so it would make more sense if he did that. But given his relationship with Ryan Smith in Utah, he's even taken 2 meetings. But Darryn Peterson just is not, like, optically and you're probably not going to go #1. So, like, big picture, this just looks bad. Optics, it looks bad. And if I'm the Utah Jazz or I'm the Memphis Grizzlies or I'm the Chicago Bulls, and it's a possible landing spot for this dude, I just feel like he already is starting off not wanting to be here, and it's just not a good look.
Boogie, you're a top pick, and you understand this type of mindset. Take us behind the curtain. Why would a guy not want to take meetings with other teams in that position?
I think it's more so him trying to position himself, control as much as he can in this process, which is not much. Obviously, the power is in the league's hands as far as who they decide to pick in the draft. But, I think he's trying to position himself to go exactly where he wants. It's pretty obvious that, with Utah having that #2 pick, I don't think that's a place that he wants to be. You kind of look at that roster construction. You look at the young talent in Keontae George, a player that needs to have the ball in his hands, and then you obviously think of a guy like Darryn Peterson, who also needs the ball in his hands. It automatically makes you kind of think it might not possibly work, or you might not get the best version of those guys on the floor next to each other. But to me, it just looks like the young kid in this team is trying to position themselves however they can. But I also agree with Chandler as far as, going through this process, you kind of had a knock to your name, throughout your collegiate season. So, coming through, now approaching this process, you kind of, less is more at some point. And I think, him, kind of going through the process, keeping his head above water, but as far as just, going about your business, handling it, and keeping your name quiet or positive, I think that would have been more of a better approach. But, you never know what, an individual and his team has planned as far as their own personal career. So I would like to blame it on that.
The more I think about it, could this just be like a push from his agency that, look, we're the #1 pick. This is what we feel like we are. This is like, so I'm not working out for anybody else. Like, maybe that's that, where he's just kind of putting it into the atmosphere that, look, I'm the #1 pick. Wizards should take me. Like, if not,
it's one thing to put it in the atmosphere, but it's also, you got to read the room. All promos that I've seen so far, it's been AJ.
It's AJ.
I was about to say, it's probably
100% been AJ, from him hosting at the finals to him being a part of the NBA promotional stuff. Like, somewhat, you got to read the room. Am I not wrong?
100%. That's what I'm saying. You never even want this kind of negative attention surrounding your name. Like, is there anything about Boozer right now? Is there anything about Caleb Wilson that's negative? Is there anything? So if I'm a franchise like a Utah Jazz, who, by the way, I don't know why he wouldn't want to go to Utah with that core with Markkanen and Jaren Jackson and Keontae George. Like, all of a sudden now, added Darryn Peterson to that, you have a really competitive starting 5 that can actually make noise and win some games next year. Like, I get maybe not wanting to go to Memphis or Chicago or kind of in those no-man lands, like kind of rebuilding. Chicago just hired a new coach. Like, I understand that, but, like, Utah would be a great fit for Darryn Peterson. And there's this mystery about him that you don't know if he's going to be the best player in the draft or he's going to be the,
Would you say that him and George do the same thing? Him and Keontae George, they're kind of the same guy?
I would think so. That's the only thing that, you know, from an angle standpoint that makes sense as to why they wouldn't want to, you know, visit with Utah. I just don't think, you know, Keontae and him will work well together. Like I said, these are two guys that need the ball in their hands to be successful. So that's the only thing that really makes sense.
Like, was VJ Edgecombe like, no, I don't want to go to Philly because Tyrese Maxey? Like, who cares,
I'm just always in the spirit of don't limit yourself. I understand that you're trying to set the room for, look, I'm the #1 pick. I'm going to be the guy. But you still want to have an opportunity to have a conversation with those teams right there at 2, 3, and 4, just in case it doesn't go your way.
And you're probably not going #1. AJ's going #1, so this just looks real bad. If I'm freaking Ryan Smith or Robert Parra or the owner of the Bulls, like, I'm thinking, what's this guy's deal? And I'm taking a closer look at Caleb or Boozer after something like this comes out.
Yeah, that's a fact. Boogie, let me ask you this. Between the injuries, the up and down year that he's had at Kansas, and now this, should teams kind of be concerned? What's his ceiling? But should teams really worry about all of these things, or should he still have an opportunity of getting drafted? Obviously, he's going to get drafted, but I mean it right here at these from 1 through 4.
Obviously, he deserves a chance to get drafted, and I don't think teams are going to, you know, hold everything that's happening for this young kid against him. But it does, you know, bring in some concern. It will make a team wonder, or multiple teams wonder, you know, about personality, character, and things of that nature. Everything I've ever heard about this kid is he's a gym rat, super hard worker, good kid, come from a good family. But, you know, when it's a lot of smoke around your name, it's easy to kind of get lost in the sauce, and narratives can become truth. So, like I said, I just want this kid, keep his name clean, keep his nose clean, just put your head down and do the work.
See, that's my concern, Chandler. Like, you already kind of got some noise around your name. You want to go sit with these teams, even if you're not going to play for one of them and you don't get drafted one. You still want to go have an opportunity to represent yourself and kind of get some of that stigma off of your name.
This is the opposite of what I would do if I was him. Like, remember when he subbed himself out of the game, whatever, at Kansas?
Yeah.
And like, now that story's going to come back up. Like, oh, maybe that was real. Maybe it wasn't a Kansas issue or a Bill Self issue. Maybe this kid has a little shit to him, or maybe his personality trait. You never really know. But now doing this, you're taking yourself out of position to even explain, you know, why these reports are coming out about you. And we're not even talking about basketball-wise, because talent-wise, this dude has a chance to be unbelievable. Like, he's so gifted. Look at those numbers. At 1 year as a freshman, like, putting up a dub. Like, this kid has game, and I think he's good enough to be able to fit in on any team. So that's why I don't understand. Like, as a rookie, you just want to come in humble. You want to come in hardworking. You should have no request. Like, you are nobody when you get drafted. Like, you restart all over again. You are a rookie. Like, you're carrying bags. So the fact that he's got these wish lists and these demands already before he even gets drafted is just not a good look.
Yeah. I'm looking at this Washington Wizards roster, current roster, the guys that they have on the contract. You got Trae Young, you got AD, Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, and Bub Carrington. So far, that's their roster. Who would you guys say is a better fit for the Wizards? Would we go with Peterson or would we say Dybantsa? What you thinking, Chandler?
I would go AJ. I mean, I like his size. I think he would immediately start at small forward for them with George as a guard. They're big. Looking at Trey, George, AJ, AD, and Sarr, like, that's, again, in the Eastern Conference, that's a competitive team. Obviously, they need to bulk up their bench. I think once they do get through the draft, and then you start adding some vet pieces to the bench, you start adding the Cornets, the Harrison Barnes, the guys like that are going to have valuable minutes on that team.
You can go get both of them.
We were high on Cornet till the finals. Cornet was
You were high on Cornet.
Stop. Cornet was one of the best backup centers in the NBA this year.
What NBA?
You're kidding. Whatever. I'm just saying they need to go add vet pieces like that to this young team. You know, what's your beef with Cornet?
I'm writing a letter about this.
We sent it up to the
I've
office.
never said that.
We sent it up to New York. Boogie, give me your thoughts. Which one of these guys will be a better fit for you?
Honestly, I think, you know, either guy could be a fit. When you think about the Wizards, they haven't had much success in the past couple seasons. Obviously, talent. This is a talent-driven league, so you always want to, you know, if you're in the Wizards position, you want to draft the best talent available. So for me, I think either guy could make this team better. I think both of these guys have opportunity to become franchise corner pieces, and I think that's something that the Wizards are missing right now. A young up and coming talent. So I think both guys could fit. I think both guys make sense. Obviously, if the Wizards are in the mode of trying to be a playoff team next year, I do think a guy like AJ, if you insert him next to a Anthony Davis, Trae Young. I like the way that looks. I like the way that sounds. So I think they can make a push in the East. As far as taking Darryn Peterson, I don't think that gives them as big of a jump. Putting a smaller two guard next to an already small guard and Trae Young. No offense. But,
I'm not offended. I know who I am.
Right.
I'm not offended. I'm a small guard. It is what it is.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like I said, this is a talent-driven league, so either talent would be a good pick for the Wizards.
I'll tell you this, and I know Utah for sure is high on Boozer. I know Memphis is high on Caleb Wilson. So all I'm saying is if I'm Darryn Peterson, I'm being careful, playing myself all the way down to that 4th pick in Chicago. Talent-wise, he could be the number 1 pick in any draft. I'm just saying optics-wise, business-wise, personality-wise, these are multi-billion-dollar companies that don't want to deal with these kind of issues and drama, and you haven't played 1 minute in the NBA yet. Don't have any more negativity surrounding your name.
Good talk, fellas. Young fella, take your meetings. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, Cedric Maxwell is going to join us next on the other side on Run It Back.
Run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back.
I'm a legend of my time.
Cedric Maxwell.
Unbelievable. Coming for yours, you're coming for mine. I'm a legend of my time.
There we go. Cedric Maxwell joins us on Run It Back. First things first, how does it feel to see them highlights right there? A little blast from the past.
Oh, I love it. I think I'm trying to figure out who the hell that guy was playing like that. and when I got a call to be on this show, I was so happy because, Lou, I don't have a problem with you, but man, I hated DeMarcus Cousins.
Me too, Cedric.
But there's a caveat to it. I love the way he played because he played as a big and he didn't take any shit at all. He threw Marcus Smart around like, you remember this play?
I don't.
He threw Marcus
There were
Smart
so many of them.
like a rag doll. He grabbed him and threw, and I'm a broadcaster for the Celtics, so I saw him. I was like, what the hell? And then I had your guy Chandler. I remember Chandler. Did you say that Luka was better than Larry Bird?
Oh, Cedric came with the smoke today.
Let's do it. You did a deep dive on the internet.
That was him. That was for sure him.
I remember some of these things, and Lou, I remember you playing, and it was amazing. But these other two guys, like I said,
You got bones to pick with us.
I just had a little smoke going to Marcus because I love the fact that he played like he could have played in the 80s. He wanted some of that shit. He wanted to fight. And that, to me, that's how they played in the 80s. He
1,000%.
was absolutely like that. But when it was Chandler on, it's like, did he say that?
Yeah, I might have got carried away there, Cedric.
That was him. He said that. Yep.
Where did he get this from? I mean, Lou, do you guys have to do a drug test before you come on?
No, I sure hope not.
That's probably half our problem right there.
I was out there when I heard him say that. I was like, whoa.
Well, way to come on and address it and get it off your chest ASAP.
There you go.
There you go. Well, let's get into it. Obviously, we just wrapped the NBA Finals. The New York Knicks are the champions after 53 years of a drought.
Hated it.
Well, tell me your thoughts. What did you think of the series?
The series was Greg Popovich was. I saw a little meme on it, and that it was Popovich talking to, all those guys and with the Spurs, and gosh, he went at them because the Spurs essentially gave that series up. The Knicks won it. I wasn't happy because I don't know if the world could take New York winning a championship. That was absolutely crazy, but a great series to watch. And you watched a young superstar have to learn on the men's what happened, with the Big Seven, with the aliens. So I think it was a great series, and I think it should have gotten great ratings.
Cedric, there's a lot of talk about best Knicks of all time, especially after this series and this championship, and Jalen Brunson is obviously the topic of the conversation. You came in the league 5 years after Willis Reed retired from the Knicks, as a two-time champ, league MVP. Like, who do you rank, first of all, the Knicks' best player of all time, and is there any way it's Jalen Brunson?
It's hard for me to say Jalen Brunson right now. His body of work has been tremendous. But I think I still look at guys like Willis Reed, and I look at those guys. We're talking about Walt Frazier. These guys are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And so to go past those on that Mount Rushmore, to me, it's a little crazy, right? A little early. He has defined the Knicks in what he did this year. And I never thought that I would see the city galvanized like that. I thought the Knicks would go, it would be crazy for the city to win. But what I saw actually was far beyond anything I believed, and the excitement that they brought. Now, I've always heard when the Knicks are good, the NBA is better. And this time it was really true.
100%.
The Mecca is looked at, the Garden is looked at as the Mecca of basketball. Could you tell us what it was like playing the Knicks and their fans in the late 70s and 80s?
Wait a minute, what kind of championships they won up there? The Mecca. I mean, I played in Boston with the Celtics. I mean, was it 17, 18 World Championships? I mean, I don't mean to be offensive even to the Laker fans who are out there, but the Celtics have won more championships than anybody else.
But I'm sure you know that they call Madison Square Garden the Mecca of basketball. But I understand your point of view as well.
They also said that, that Luka was better than Larry Bird.
You just won't let that go, huh?
So, it is the Mecca when you think about the way it's played. I played there in the NIT in 1976, was great, fantastic. And to play against the Knicks over and over again and to beat them with the Celtic teams that we had was unbelievable. But to think about some of those Knicks players who did not win, and one of the guys I hated more than anybody was Bernard King. Oh, my God, I hated that dude. I had nightmares about starting his ass. I mean, he was so good every single night. And I used to talk to Hubie Brown. I'm like, damn, y'all only got one play? Y'all can't run a play for nobody else. Same guy I'm guarding all the time. So, I think the Mecca is unbelievable to think about what happened and for those guys to win. And, I want to see John Starks, get your ass. You aren't playing. He was down there on the floor every single night.
Oh, they were into it.
Kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah, those guys were into it. And we had Isaiah Thomas on last week, and he talked about Boston. He said the fans and the community, they made it hell for opposing teams when they came into Boston in the 80s. He said y'all had the best home court advantage in NBA history. What were some of the things that that the community and inside the arena, what would happen in Boston to make it hell for opposing teams?
I think it was the fact it was dirty. It was nasty. Think about the series in 1984. The Lakers came in and they said we turned the air conditioning off in the room. We didn't have any air conditioning. It was a dirty, nasty place. It was bugs and rats and all kind of stuff. So, and then people talk about nastiness. You played down at the nastiest place of all in Philadelphia. I mean, I remember we'd pull up in the bus and it would be about 300 or 400 people waiting for our bus to pull up, and they would all be standing there. They'd all be giving us the finger at one time. It's like, and it was moms, dads, and kids. And so I thought Philly was nastier than any other place that I played. They had a home court advantage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, obviously, people hated playing in the Garden against you guys. What was your hardest place to play at? You think that's Philly?
Yeah, Philly. Philly was rough. The Lakers were rough too. Well, excuse me, the Fakers were rough too. I didn't, playing against them, and they have Dancing Barry and all the cheerleaders and all the things to celebrities. That was kind of a tough place to play because of all the aesthetics from beyond.
And Cedric, we always love stories from the old days. And Kevin McHale drafted me, and I played for him my first 3 years. That's probably why I'm off Larry Bird, 'cause he used to talk about how good they were the whole time. What was it like just in general playing with Larry and that team? And just like, because he told me great stories about flying commercial and all the stuff you guys went through. What were some of those times like?
The best thing I remember about all that was I was the first pro that really played against Larry Bird in training camp. And I was just, Marcus Shippriest, I was an ignorant, selfish black guy who thought that white guys couldn't play. And my first day in practice, I remember thinking he walked on the floor. I'm like, shit, here we go. Great white, here we go. Man, I remember going there. I knocked it. I'm scoring, but he's scoring. And I remember after practice, he scored so much on me. The first black person I got to, I said, you know what? That fucking white guy can play down there. So I remember well and vividly, when you think about, I always say, I played with the two greatest white players that ever played on a team. We have Bird and McHale. But then there's also, I had played with John Havlicek and Dave Cowan. So it was, I could give you my all-white team, and it would be better than any other team you could come up with.
Hey, that's what Boogie thought in high school, too, till I dunked on him. He didn't know white guys could have hops.
Let the past be the past, man.
He caught you slipping, Boogie?
I caught him slipping.
I told the story. I told the story. He didn't even remember.
We got to find that tape.
Hey, but Cedric, could you let us know, obviously you know Bird well, could you let us know how cold you think he was personally? And in your opinion, do you think he's the best small forward of all time?
He has to be ranked right there. But and again, I say the best player I ever played with wasn't Larry, but I played my last year. I played with Akeem Olajuwon, and I think Akeem Olajuwon was maybe the greatest player of all time that nobody talks about, because he dominated the floor better than anybody on both ends as ever. But Larry was so cold-blooded, man, that essentially he would always talk to guys and say, is your coach mad at you or something? And I'm like, why? I said, because you have to guard me. And he would tell the coach, you must be kidding me. And he was as ignorant as I was. He would say, if you put this white guy on me, I'm embarrassed that you put a white guy to guard me. So Larry just had some stuff about him that was a little unusual, a little hickish, but man, what a great player he was. I mean, he made the team better, and that was a cool thing about playing with him.
Yeah. In '81, you won Finals MVP over Bird. Did he ever kind of give you shit about that, or do you ever joke about getting that award over him?
No, well, I always joke about that. That's the only thing I can hold on. His first championship, I was a Finals MVP, and it was the fact that Larry. Here's one of the things that was crazy. Kevin McHale in that series, his first series ever, how many points you think he averaged against Houston Rockets? Just give me a guess.
I'd say 16.
I say
4. 4.
Jeez.
Wow.
4. But Larry didn't really have a good. There was the late Bobby Joe Reed who gave Larry fits defensively, but Larry put up so many other numbers. If he wasn't scoring, he was rebounding the basketball. But I happened to have a couple of games. I think one of the deciding games was 28-15 in that game. And they gave me the Finals MVP. Now, the biggest thing where I got screwed, everybody else got the Finals MVP over the years. I always got the car. You know what? They gave me a damn watch. It was a cheap-ass Seiko. So,
you were right there at the crossover where they went from cars to watches. Now, Cedric, I gotta get your point of view on this, because nowadays it's so much cross-promotion with the shoe companies and everybody doing everything and their buddy-buddy. But back in the day, you considered Larry Bird a traitor for doing that Converse commercial with Magic Johnson. Give me the story on that.
That we hated the fact that he was even, spoke to. During the 80s, you didn't even speak to opposing players. That's what was the crazy thing about it. And for him to go out and do a commercial, we were all kind of pissed off about it. But the fact that he was getting paid, we were all happy about that. But Larry just had this demeanor that he hated other players. And I love that about players during the 80s, the fact that we did not speak to each other. We were DeMarcus Cousins 9.0 because we did not we wanted to fight. That was the crazy thing about it. I always think now when I see guys who want to be tough, put them in the 80s and see how tough they'd be. And it would be a completely different view of how they would play, because you'd have to pay for everything you did.
Did you guys train together in the summer at all, even if you were on opposing teams, or no chance?
Wouldn't even know a guy during the summer. How we gonna get him? We didn't have no cell phones. We would have had to go to a guy and ask him for his phone number. No, we didn't do stuff like that.
Is that what we're missing right now? We don't have any genuine rivalries. Is that what the game is missing? We need some hate.
That's what you need. You need that nastiness back in the NBA. But you can't elbow a guy. You can't do any of those things that that one of my favorite players on this panel did during, to watch him with Marcus Smart. That was like a kung fu flip that he did. I was like, damn, that's it. They're going to let him get away with it? So I loved it. I loved the fact the way guys played during that time, and I wish there was a little bit more in the NBA. I understand we've taken it away, but why can't they fight in hockey, but they can't fight in basketball? How does that happen?
Yeah.
Well, your guy Missoula wants the coaches to fight too, so he's with it.
That smoke. He wants that smoke, man. Yeah. We always said this. When Jason Tatum is pissed off and Brown is pissed off, the Celtics were going to be a championship team when they got to be mean and nasty. And both those guys got to be mean and nasty at one time, and that's why they won the championship.
Well, I'm going to stay right there with you. We're going to talk about the current Celtics. I want your thoughts on what do you think about all the rumors that's circulating around Jaylen Brown, or possibly trade match. Giannis' name is involved in those talks. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, that kind of hurts. I'm a huge Jaylen Brown fan, huge. What I understand is that Jaylen right now is up for I think an extension, and it would be $70 million a year. If he doesn't sign that extension, now the Celtics have to do what they have to do. They'll probably just try to move him. And if it was to get Giannis, I would hate to see, but I understand the business of it. I'm one of the biggest Jaylen Brown fans around. Because when I used to see him, I'd say, "What's happening to MVP?" And he'd look at me and he'd say, "Takes one to know one." And I was like, "Hey, that was cool as hell." I felt big then. So, but if that trade happened, not only would you miss Jaylen as a player, you'd miss what he brings to the team intellectually. This is a very smart young man that really gets after it and really puts out for the city. He said that one time, once he got his last contract, he said, "I want Boston to be the Black Wall Street." And so that's one thing that young players normally don't think about. They think about themselves, but they don't think about the community, and he does that.
Do you think the Celtics had an issue with Jaylen Brown's statement after the first-round loss?
I would hope they didn't, because he had already said that before, that Jaylen had said this is one of my favorite seasons. He had said it. He had stated before, because the way the team was, nobody thought the Celtics were going to even, were going to battle to be in the play. And to see the way that they played this year, and I mean from top to bottom, and what Jaylen Brown did. Jaylen Brown was a MVP candidate, legitimately. And for him to say that, this is what was crazy about it. That was his opinion. And why people got so pissed off about his opinion, it kind of sparks me. But he was happy about the season that they had and what they had accomplished. But yeah, to win another championship, I'm sure he wanted to do that. But I think the statement was kind of taken out of context.
Cedric, before I let you go, I wanted to just ask you, get your opinion on this just major, disconnect between the older NBA generations and today's game. We've had recent guests on our show from the 80s and 90s that we do the top 5 rankings of all time, and they don't even have LeBron James in their top 5. We had Isaiah Thomas on last week, or earlier this week. He just says it's jealousy. He said there's no way LeBron James is in the top 5. What's your take? Because there seems to be this huge disconnect.
LeBron James is one of my favorite players because of the longevity and what he's done. He is one of the top players of all time. So I don't think that I could go away from that. I don't think you could have 5 greater players in the NBA than LeBron James, and what he's done for the league and and how he's really handled himself. A guy who has been no trouble, won championships, and you think about the personnel that have been around him and other personnel that have been around him, you don't have that with LeBron. But I have to give Kyrie Irving, obviously, was that. But the personnel that he's had over the years, that is really different when you think about what he's done and how he's won championships.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well said. Cedric, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you for stopping by. Way to clear the room with them guys. Get that smoke off your chest.
Thank you.
Big year coming from Luka next year, Cedric.
We
Big
appreciate
year from
you,
Luka.
brother. Thanks for joining us. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, Pat Bev.
Run it up, run it back, 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 run it up, and run it back.
You know why I'm here, yeah, you know what I came to do. If it's you against me, no, I ain't gonna lose. You know why I'm here.
Pat Beverley, an excellent defender. He is a competitor.
You know why I'm here.
Pat Bev joins us on Run It Back. Love Gang, what's happening?
Hey, boys, how's it going?
Hey, you back stateside? I saw the videos
man,
from
good to see
Capri. You back?
Hey, listen. Before we kick this off, right? I know I only got 15 minutes, but
Oh, we off the rails already.
No, for real. I want to give y'all a special thanks, man. I don't know if everyone who's watching this understand, but at a pivotal time in my career, I've played with all three of these gentlemen, right? Chandler Parsons when I was, trying to make a name. Lou Will when I, finally got the name, Mr. 94 Feet, and Cuz when we went to the, Western Conference Finals, the first time I've ever, did that. So I just want to start it off by saying thanks, boys.
Okay. All right. I thought you was about to go somewhere else. You remember the last time what your intro was the last time you came on here?
No. I just want to show love.
We passed that. Love game.
Yeah, we don't meet up face to face and like give each other flowers. So I had to
there you go.
Start with that.
Patch, I gotta ask you, we just wrapped the NBA Finals. Give me your thoughts on the New York Knicks being the champions and what you saw in the finals in general.
I mean, I think it's different from like a basketball player and a casual fan. I think I've seen the exact things y'all seen. We seen a team that coulda, shoulda won, but didn't, right? We seen a team that was up, damn near every game, that kind of fell short. What I've learned, and especially in the NBA, right, in a 7-game series, right, your coach wins you one game, your role players win you one game, and your stars win you 2 games, right? And if I'm being really frank right now, when we look at the Spurs, we look at this Darryn Fox and Wemby as being stars, right? I think offensively, Wemby could have been better in certain games, right? But he's done so much offensively and defensively. So but still, to be in that category as the greats, right? I think he could have been a little bit better down the stretch, offensively and especially defensively. I think Brunson gave him a ton of buckets, like when he needed to get stops. And I think Darryn Fox was trash. I think he was god awful. And I don't think that was because of him. I think, because, he was injured a little bit. I think the coach should have had him come off the bench and kind of went with, what he had against OKC, right? I didn't like him just putting him in the starting lineup. But, you live and you learn. That's the difference between, as we know and been around, good coaches and elite coaches. And that's no disrespect to Coach Mitch, but, elite coaches would have put Darryn Fox on the bench, let him get his rhythm, and went with what they had.
So you would have started Dylan Harper as soon as what, game 3, or like how early do you make that decision? Because the guy's making a lot of money.
Once we beat OKC, he's my starting guard until the series is over. We beat the number 1 team. Why am I playing with the house money? The house money is already we beat the number 1 team, right? We beat the number 1 team. Darryn Fox, you coming back? Cause I was the starting point guard with the Clippers. I was coming off injury. I wasn't all the way right. I played Dallas first game 1, game 2. Luka cooked me, right? I had to go to the bench. I sat on the bench until we got past Dallas, and I end up starting in the Western Conference Finals. So, and that's Tyronn, that's Ty Lue, right? So we talk about, the elite coaches, you have to, you give, Darryn Fox, you give him a lot of negativity. Oh, he could have played better, but you lose as a team also.
Yeah, we talked about them all year, how they just were a young team. They had no experience. Mitch Johnson, this is really his first go at it. Darryn Fox, this was his second. What moves do they need to make this offseason? Because we know Castle, Wemby, Harper, those are untouchables. Do they obviously try and get off Darryn Fox? What are they missing to come back and compete again with the Knicks, the Thunder, all these other great teams?
I think and it's crazy I can go to each one of you and have different debates about the subject because we were teammates. I think you got to do what Kevin McHale did, right? CP, right? After I've had some success with Houston Rockets, we play OKC in the playoffs. Coach McHale comes to me like, hey, the starting point guard is up for grabs. Yeah. Right? Me and you, Chandler, we joke a lot, wearing the belt, who's the new sheriff in town. I think as a coach and as a modern day coach, man, you give opportunity. Right? You can't trade Darryn Fox, obviously because of the contract and the way he finished up. They still got to the finals. But I think it's a toss-up. I think you become one of those coaches like, look, man, I got a spot up for grabs. Who want it?
Yeah, that's a good game, Patch. I want to ask you this because we all had different opinions about the Spurs opting out of not shaking hands after a hard-fought battle, and we was all over the place. I felt, listen, hard-fought battle, shake hands, look the man in his eyes, say good game, and go ahead about your business. Cuz wasn't tripping on it. He said, I don't really care. What you think about them deciding not to shake the Knicks' hands after that? Is it a big deal or nothing?
I mean, to who though, right? To who? To exactly. The casual fan that's never been in a competition where you can't talk to your family or you so laser focused that nothing can get to you, and you're so focused on the task, you're like army mode, you're in the trenches with your brothers, you end up losing. And to that person, yeah, you shake hands. But to Pat Bev, yeah, I done pushed people you you feel me? Like, you can't beat out, fight out. Now, I ain't saying that's the right thing to do, but everyone has their own, cup of tea, and sometimes my cup of tea was, mine wasn't tea, mine was Hennessy. So to each his own.
Yeah, and as we saw the playoffs go on, and then we got to the Knicks matchup, we saw Wemby kind of becoming somewhat of a villain. Some of the moves that he made was kind of frowned upon, and we saw a different side of his personality. Is that something that he should lean into, more of the villain role, or no?
I think, like, we've all played against Europeans sometime in our career. Like, we understand that, when it comes to they play right up into the lines, if you know what I mean. And to the people that's watching, I mean that some and most Europeans, we consider like, man, that was a dirty-ass play he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying like he's a dirty player. I'm just saying they like to flirt with in between the lines. I like it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you can curse on your network, so I ain't gonna use I ain't gonna use my French.
Just don't go too far. We want to keep the show.
You like how I made that analogy, Lou? I'm not gonna use my French.
I see how you cook it. I see where you coming from.
Yeah. Regarding Wemby, but I think when it comes to the greats, we've seen a lot of assholes. Lou, you played with Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Bean. Like, Chandler, and Lou, right? We played with James Harden. Cuz you were one of the great five mans. And you feel me? Like, you have to have a certain demeanor if you want to be great. And I think that is okay. It's gonna rub a lot of people wrong. It's okay not to be. The man was just training with monks.
That's all I said. That's all I said. I said, listen, if he's an asshole,
just embrace it.
Just embrace it, and I'm okay with it.
Usually these big Frenchmen are.
We've put so much innocence on them that when we see something that ain't innocent.
I see how Cuz looking though, because I'm with Cuz. If you gonna be an asshole, let that be you from the beginning, right? Don't let that be you. When you got all this media around you, people know me, but I've been the same person since day one. The cameras just got bigger for me. You feel me? Like, if you go be that asshole, right? Don't pull a KD on us. Don't be an asshole when your group of team tell you, hey man, you need to get a couple more technicals so people can fear you. Like, don't KD us, right? Right? No pun intended, but Boog, you know what I'm saying. Don't look at me crazy. Don't look at me crazy. If you gonna be that way all the time.
That's why I got no problem with it. I'm like, listen, a lot of these French, they get tagged as being soft. Wemby's not soft, especially with his body type. So if you're gonna be that guy, you're gonna throw elbows at Nas Reed, you're gonna mush Jalen Brunson, just own it. We got no problem with it.
That's it.
I agree.
Yeah.
What you got for him, Boog?
Man, y'all funny this morning. Hey, man, do you think the Knicks run it back next year? And if so?
Hold on, Pat. Were they even the best? Were they?
God, no.
Were they the best team in the NBA this year, Pat?
At times. At times they were. At times. But J-Dub was hurt the whole year. You talking about a team that was the number one team throughout the whole season with arguably not their second best player, right? You talk about a team that, as we look at the last 8 teams that's won championships, it haven't been a team back to back. So I'm not going to downplay nobody. I'm going to just go off what history's telling us. The last 8 years has been a different team every year, so why wouldn't it be a different team year 9?
True.
Yeah. So you don't like them as the favorites coming back?
Favorites that's a tough ask, right? That's a tough ask, right? And I know, Lou, you like to make the comparison with the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, right? Because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a huge fan of the Running Back Network for FanDuel. I'm a huge fan, so I want to give y'all ups on that. And I know you're not sold on like what conference is better than the other, but the Western Conference is a tough conference, one of the toughest conferences historically in the NBA. OKC, what they've done with their team historically has been unbelievable. Their defensive numbers haven't been great. They've been historic. So you give me a team without your, second best player, third best player, depending on how you look at Chet and J-Dub, and you have that success, right? You have that much success to lose to, what they call them, the alien and the Spurs. Like, you got to give them a lot of credit and go Game 7. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I think OKC is going to start off as the favorite next year.
Probably so.
And I think it's good for OKC. They got hit in their mouth, right? They got hit in their mouth. You feel me? They come to the game, they all fly, and you feel me? They riding high and they doing this. Sometimes you need a little humble pot. Yeah. You feel me? And I think that's go geek them up. As we know, as me and you know, Lou, you feel me? Shay, right? That's go geek him up. That's go turn him up. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
100%.
That's real.
Yeah.
You were teammates with
shout out to Sham though, Lou.
Oh, yeah, Sham got a ring. Shout out to Landry. Yeah, I spoke to him. Shout out to our guy. He got one.
Coach B.A.
B.A. got one, yeah.
Cal from the equipment managing room.
Few of our guys, yeah. Oh, yeah. Few of our guys got rings. That's what's up.
I'm locked in, Lou.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Like Lil Durk.
I got to hit Cal. I forgot he was over there, yeah.
Yeah, you got to hit him. That's why I was telling you, because he hit me like, damn, Lou ain't even hit me. That's why I'm really trying to tell you without really trying to tell you. But
I'm going to reach out to Cal.
So
appreciate that.
Love. Hey, CP, we need to holler at each other, man.
Come on, I got the same number.
We still got questions. You trying to wrap us? We still got questions.
I'm sorry.
When he said Shams, I thought he meant Shams. I was like, Shams got a ring.
Yo, Pat, you were teammates with Cat in Minnesota. You one of his biggest supporters over the years. Obviously, he just won his first championship. Tell us how you feel about that. Do you think it removed the soft label? And can you basically label him a winner now?
I think you have to. I think as a player, if you go to the Western Conference Finals 3 years in a row, I think you have to look at that and be like, okay, cool. He's part of a winning DNA now, right? When you say soft, right? Because before I played with Cat, I call him soft too, right? Before I played with him, but when I left from playing with him, he's just he's so skilled, right? When I mean skilled, he's one of those players that, like, when it's time to warm up before the game, he only need like 5 shots. You feel me? Like, he one of those guys. He's played basketball for so long, right? He had his dad is a coach, right? So if you have a coach's a son in the gym, right, and he's been playing basketball since, I don't know, 6th grade with his dad and all that, like, basketball is easy. You don't need to be tough, right? You see him opposite jab pivot with the right leg. I'm pivoting left. Like, I'm hitting you with this, right? I done seen him. It's crazy that we talk about them playing the Spurs. We played the Spurs. We together. He had 61. He warmed up for 3 minutes, right? So I think when it comes to basketball players, right, and trust me, I'm a huge fan, because you know me. Man, he's that man, soft as hell. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm a huge fan when it comes to, like, the competitiveness and, like, how a player looks. I don't, and I've been around a ton of people, European and NBA. It ain't soft. It's just really skilled, like a really finesse skill.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's getting his flowers now. Another guy you played with, Pat, Giannis. Obviously, a lot of rumors. What's going to happen with him? Does he stay in Milwaukee? Does he go to Miami, Boston? What's your take? Like, where do you think he goes? And is he still a top 5 player in the league next year, or is he on the way out?
I think when you talk about a person's legacy and a person that's accomplished so much, I think Greek has to be up there. You talking about MVP. You talking about Finals MVP. You talking about Defensive Player of the Year. Mind you, this all off the top too. You talk about bringing a championship to a team that hasn't won the championship in ages. You talk about Most Improved. You talk about every award that's out there for a player to get, he's gotten already, right? So I think the question is, what are other teams gonna be okay with the Nasties coming with him? I think that's the question.
Well, but now he's 31.
I think that was the issue why the Bucks couldn't trade him through the regular season, because y'all got to trade a deuce, and in Milwaukee he had a third brother on the team. Y'all got to trade 3 people. That's tough. That's tough.
That's real.
But now at 31, though, like, can he still be at that level of all those accolades like you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think at, and obviously you guys know, I think at any age, it's any type of motivation. If you're in a locker room where it's a winning spirit, right? We see LeBron James, right? And I'm not going to compare Greek to LeBron, because what LeBron doing is unbelievable. But, like, when you're in the locker room, right, and you got a group of guys that want to go to war, and you got a coaching staff and an organization that's okay, cool. We lean our hat on winning. That gives you a whole different type of motivation. I think it makes it easier for you to win. You talk about You know, Milwaukee, and I played it with the Bucks. Bucks was a great organization from top to bottom, great. But we see coaching changes. We see players getting traded. We see one of his best friends, Chris Middleton, leaving. We see Drew, another piece, Drew Holiday leaving, right? We see different coaches, right? That doesn't give me winning off top. You know, that don't give me winning. But you talk about a culture like Miami, right? You talk about a culture like that. Everybody know that. You could play the Miami Heat and they have on no jerseys, and you know you playing the Miami Heat.
That's a fact. Pat, before I let you go, I got one more question.
Give me a hard one, man. Don't give me the
say less.
Give me the hard questions that the guy in the back who ain't never played basketball told you.
It's on the way. It's on the way because you caused some chaos. You said James Harden was better all time than D Wade, and you know. After these playoffs, I seen some of your tweets. You kind of walked it back a little bit. Has your stance changed?
No.
Okay.
And I mean that with all respect, right, to both parties, right? You talk about right, and it's easy to dissect now because obviously James Harden, you know, he lost, but he did lose to the Knicks. But to me, and the problem with the old generation, the new generation, not us, the generation that's ahead of us, and like the middle generation like us, a lot of people don't respect longevity. But we respect longevity. The people that played before us don't respect longevity. The casual fan expect a person at 36, 37-year-old to produce like he was producing when he was 25, 26, right? Longevity to me matters. How long you can do something matters to me, right? We go points, we go assists, we go rebounds, we go everything down except, I don't know, steals and probably blocks. James Harden, wins that in every category. We talk about wins. We talk about MVPs. We talk about MVPs on the regular season. We talk about points per game, right? James Harden wins that. And my argument is only based off individual basketball, right? I can't tell you. Is it games that we should have won in the playoffs that we lost because of beer? Of course. Of course. Is it games that Miami Heat should have lost against the Spurs when, Bron brick trade, they can't get rebound, come back out, Ray Allen hit three. They could have won or lost that game, right? I think championships comes with the team. I don't think you can point individual accolades. I don't think you can put that on championship because a championship is team. I'm talking about if we was in a gym right now and we lined up our team, y'all three telling me on TV in front of everybody, y'all picking D-Wade first before James Harden, playing against them and teammates with him, and there's no disrespect to D-Wade.
Understood.
No. That was a question.
I'd probably take D-Wade.
Yeah. I'm taking D-Wade.
Because he can play both sides of the ball, too. So especially one-on-one.
Patch, okay. I gotta get you to come back.
Hey, Lou, you ain't answer the question, Lou.
I gotta get you to come back, but we up on time. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the new Pat Bev channel. Hey, Patch, I see you on the other side.
Answer the question,
Call
Lou.
my phone, brother. Hit my hotline. Make my hotline bling. I see y'all later.
Thank you, boys.
Run it back.
Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back.
All right, fellas, last but not least, we got 1 minute left. A lot of talk around Giannis. If we had to guess, we playing matchmaker, where does Giannis end up?
Miami.
Okay.
I think so, too, and I don't love it, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I don't, him and Bam, they're great players individually. Losing Tyler Hero, not having the most shooting around those two. Yeah, I think he goes.
I'm crowding that paint.
I think he goes to Miami, but I don't think that moves the needle for them losing all their young assets, their picks, bringing in Giannis and Bam, and who? What does that do?
Oh, they definitely got some work to do to surround them with the right talent, the right shooting, the right pieces.
Yeah. But there you have it. Beads, get better. We'll see you tomorrow. Fellas, it's been a pleasure. Run it back. We'll catch y'all later. Check us out.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back.